All right, so welcome back to this week's weekly webinar. I am Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. We're a multifamily investment firm here in Tennessee. So today we're going to talk about different ideas or different strategies to acquire multifamily properties. But before we do there, make sure you go down there and hit that follow button so each and every week you're alerted to each new webinar we have come out talking about all things multifamily. So how do we find the deals? That's the question on so many people's minds. It's a question we hear asked so many different times. So how do you find that deal? Well, you can look at this from a number of different ways, but you're going to have a number of different options to go out there and find a deal. One is that you find a seller who wants to sell. That's the, of course, no-brainer, right? Go find a seller. If they want to sell, maybe you can put together a deal. Well, how are you going to find that seller? Well, you can enlist a number of brokers, right? So brokers can be a key vital team member to you that you can get in front of brokers, allow them to understand what you're looking for, to allow them to facilitate finding a seller so you can be the buyer, right? You can send out mail, right? You can send out mail to some of the apartment communities around you, or you can use sites like a list source and start pulling lists for multifamily owners, right? You can go out there and just go door knocking, right? So you can go to various apartment communities around town and start seeing if they are in fact the owner that's there, or if you can get a contact from the owner to make that connection. You can use different sites that are actually leasing apartments to call the leasing person to see, in fact, they may be the mom and pop seller or owner of that property, and they will be open to an offer, right? You can look at the open market, right? Brokers will put deals out there through offerings that may be a potential fit for you, right? So there's a lot of different ways that you can go out there and find deals. What I have found has worked best for us is to get very specific with what we want to buy and tell everyone what we're looking for. Because then friends, family, my network, everybody can have the radar on of what I'm looking for. So if I was to say to you, I want to buy multifamily properties, well, that could be a plethora of things. That could be anywhere in this country. It could be a 2-unit up to a trillion unit. It could be a $1 million property or a $1 billion property. It could be brand new construction. It could be built anytime throughout history, right? So there could be all these different facets of a deal that could get brought to me that may not fit my criteria. But if I came to you and said, hey, listen, I'm looking for 75 to 150 units in Louisville, Kentucky. I prefer to be on the south side of Louisville, Kentucky. I want the building to be built somewhere between the 80s to the early 2000s, and I really can't pay more than $10 million on the property, right? So with that in mind, if I'm telling that to the network, right? If I'm telling that to property manager, I'm telling that to brokers, everybody now understands what I'm looking for. So when they see that, right, it's like the reticular activator, right? They now will think of me. So it will help more deals come into me and have more deals brought to me, and also will have the right deals brought for me. So instead of me having a bunch of opportunities to look at that really once I get into them just not going to fit, I can be very dialed in on the opportunities that are brought to me. That got us to our first deal, our second deal, our third deal, very routinely because we were telling people we're looking for. So I had a property manager bring us a deal. Had a broker bring us a deal. I ended up walking across the street from a property I owned to a seller and making a relationship there. That was another like-kind deal, right? All these ways got us into deals, and that's the same thing you can do, right? You can go out there, understand what you want, because if you don't know what you're looking for, how do you know when you found it? So get honed in. You are not going to miss deals. You're going to find more opportunity by being specific with what you want today. And if you do that, you're going to get yourself either into your first multifamily property or your next one. I'm Jason Yarusi of Yarusi Holdings. That is our weekly webinar, how to find multifamily properties. Make sure you go down there and hit that follow button. Each and every week we bring you great topics all related to the multifamily space. Let's do this.